out there in TV land and in social media land, and welcome to another episode of Esteem TV. I am Nyesha Thompson, your host and your founder, and I'm so excited about what God is going to do today. You know that I like to start off with prayer, so if you would, please bow your heads with me. God, we thank you for this another day, another opportunity you've given us, Lord, just to come together with friends, with sisters in Christ, just to talk about moving topics that may change somebody's life today. I ask that you would come in and that you would have your way today, that you would use us in a mighty way, Father, that someone may be encouraged and changed at the end of this show. We thank you for what you're going to do in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. I'm so excited again because I have some special guests with me here today. And we're going to talk about something I think that is very powerful. As a matter of fact, power is in the name of the title. We're going to be talking about the power within, your untapped, undiscovered potential. What to do to get there, to find out what potential lies within. So I'm going to allow my guests to introduce themselves today. So first we have Lady Andrea. Andrea?
Hi, everyone in TV land. My name is Andrea Kendrick.
Hi.
Hi.
And?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tochi Ololo.
Hello, Tochi. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. I'm so excited to have you here. So again, you guys know that we're going to talk about the power within, and that is because my organization is a nonprofit organization. It's called Esteem, and we are here. The reason why we exist is for the purpose of building up women and to help them see themselves the way God sees them. You know what I'm saying? I think as women, no matter how good we look, how pretty we are, how much we've accomplished, there's always something, that we're not satisfied with. You know what I'm saying? There's always something we're complaining about. There's always something we want to change about ourselves. I mean, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, my goodness. And so that's the reason why Esteem is in existence, just for the everyday woman and, women in the boardroom, women that are first ladies, women that are pastors, just women everywhere. And so today we want to talk about unlocking the power within. You guys okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I have a question, right? I'm going to start, and I had to write my questions down because they're exciting and I don't want to forget about them. Okay. So my first question is this. What are some gifts and talents that you have, right, that you've always known about since you were a kid? Like these were like natural gifts and talents, things that came natural to you, and you kind of always have been familiar with it since you were a kid. Who wants to go first? I'll go first so that
okay.
I'll give you ladies time to think about it.
Okay.
One of the things I think that I discovered as I was a child is my ability to write. I think I've always been somewhat of a good writer. I started tapping into it, I think maybe in the third grade. I won a book report, and I won a book report contest, and I was featured in this newspaper in the city. Back then I lived in Indiana. I lived in Gary, Indiana, and the local newspaper featured my book report. I was in elementary school. And so I would just get compliments consistently about my ability to write at such a young age. And I think for me, writing is the way that I express myself versus public speaking. I know this is a public speaking setting.
You're doing great.
Thank you. But I really like to write. And so that has been with me since I've been a child. I mean, it is. And I think I've just developed it over time, and it gets better and better over time.
Yeah.
So what's something that a gift or a talent that you have always had?
For me, I think it's creativity.
I was going to say the same thing because I know you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
But yeah, creativity. I think there was three top things that in my early years, it was creativity. As I got into my teens, I noticed that it wasn't just creativity, and it kind of divided into like three different things. But now, being in my 40s, I understand and I see how now they all kind of work together simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so for me, just the creativity part is just having vision for things and taking something and then seeing the bigger picture of it and then starting to break it down from there and just kind of working out all of the kinks in the things and hoping for the best outcome. And now being connected to God, it's a level that has surpassed my imagination, you know, because things will come like this, just because I'm connecting with him and I'm activating things.
Wow.
So,
I want you to talk a little more about that. What is it about being connected to him that makes you, I guess, get in touch with your hidden gifts and talents, you know, your potential?
The first thing that came to mind when you said that was just having relationship. Really, really having relationship in a way that you are dependent. And it is, you know, should I turn left? Should I turn right? When it comes to creativity, should I make this red? Should I make this blue? You know, what should I do to just kind of flow and just having that kind of conversation consistently. And over time, it just becomes easier and easier. And so now it's just kind of flowing where like, as soon as I have a thought and I'm just like, then I'll get a download or something, and it comes that fast. Because now I guess you've kind of, I've kind of put it into practice. I totally, I get that. You know, I mean, we're created like him, and so he's the only one that can tell us about ourselves and what he put inside of us, right?
Right, exactly.
So, what about you, Tochi?
I think for me, I've never really considered one talent. I think whenever I think about myself, I always think of myself like a circle. The things that I'm allowed to do, because
I like that.
But and it used to be a little egotistical, I think, when it was me coming into myself. I would, no matter what I could do, I could always be elastic. Like I could fit into any sort of mold that I was put in. And so when you asked me the question, I'm like, I don't know. And I started thinking, like, one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest advantages that I had, and honestly, Andrea and I were talking about it yesterday, is just the way that I think about things. It's because it's very easy for me to put myself into a situation and easily understand somebody else's point of view. And then you don't want to say, I think it's a talent, because not a lot of people have that capacity to like near empathy. I want to say it's empathy, but it's a little bit different, because I'm not exactly feeling the way that somebody is feeling, but I can really understand where somebody is coming from. Like, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said, wow, the way that I am now, like if somebody murdered somebody and told me why they did it, like I could easily find a justification, or like a not in the sense that it was right, but I know why you did it. I know what led to that. I can understand what took you there.
Because there's something behind that. There's something deep within. You didn't just wake up one day and decide to do it, right?
Yes.
I get that.
You know, and that's something that I would say that has taken me really far in just kind of where I am right now. Like even with my walk with God, where you know, I start to, there's a lot, you know, like we always deal with things that we need to forgive, or maybe anger, hurt, whatever. And even though I still feel feelings, it's been really easy that God has been able to walk me through that sense of wisdom, to be able to kind of go through those thoughts. And it's really helped me in my career as well, where so I'm a math nerd, but not like,
you're rare. Listen, you're rare. You're rare,
but not like a math nerd. Like, don't tell me to do any calculations, because
what kind of math nerd is that?
I know. I'm a math nerd in the sense that I really think logically.
Right.
Like
left brain.
I don't want to say that because I'm really creative.
Okay.
Let's go back to the elastic.
Okay. You know? Gotcha. You don't want to be put in a box.
I don't.
Gotcha.
I don't.
Okay.
And so it's really helped me there where I've been able to like not use it just for like personal things, but it's really gotten me far in just like the way that I've been problem solving, critical thinking, like being able to go through those steps. So I don't know if that's a specific talent that
no, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine. I think I can totally relate to you because I think the way I'm built is I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes or see it through their lenses.
Right.
So it's like, the reason they did that is because A, B, C, and D. And I feel like, in that sense that I can relate to them. And everybody's not like that. Everybody's not wired like that. So I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
I totally get it. So then, so we've kind of talked about our second question, what do you do with that talent as an adult? For you, I've seen you, you are creative. You love fashion and putting outfits together and designing and styling people. And maybe it goes beyond fashion. I don't know. Does it?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
So I think that is where, earlier I mentioned that there was three that kind of in my early, teens and going into young adulthood that I kind of discovered.
I think it's important. I'm sorry. I think it's important to mention you're from New York.
Yes, I am.
So you had a lot of inspiration growing up, right?
I did.
Okay. But we're in Texas now.
Yes.
So you're bringing that New York flavor to Texas, right?
A little bit. I'm trying to blend the two.
Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So just kind of leaning into those three, I remember that I took a test and I found it in my adult years. And I looked back and I was like, wow, and I think I might have been around 12 or 13 when I took this test.
Okay.
And, I looked at it and I said, oh, wow. And I'm looking at this in my late 30s. And I'm like, wow, everything is there. Yeah. It was already set before me.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it in the way that I see it now, and I didn't connect it to the industries that I have to connect it to now.
Right.
So my top three, because they give you a top three, one was management, one was the visual and creativity, the fine arts, and the other one was, I forgot how they worded it, but it was basically like, the occupations the fields that you can go into was like nursing or anything from a caring position.
Got you.
So now in my 30s and just walking with God since my late 20s, I've come to find that, so the caring part wasn't nursing, because that's not me. It's the sight of blood. I'm just like, oh God. I'm like, I'm good if it's on TV. In living color, I don't know. Yeah. Touching it, totally. I don't know.
Totally not me.
Not me. So but I see that that's ministry, caring for others, wanting to see them do well and excel, and then the fine arts. So I'm not a sculpturist or all those kinds of things, but it plays into the fashion designing and being creative through all of those positions, whether it's behind the scenes or in front, just anything and everything fashion.
Because when you look good, it's like you feel good, right?
Don't get me started because...
Listen, did I tell you guys... Okay, I have to say this. Okay. Esteem was originally a clothing line idea, right? That's what it was originally. Because I wanted women to look good so that they would feel better about themselves.
Right.
Because especially when you're on the heftier side, it's tough for us to find certain clothing, right? So when we can find things that complement our bodies and complement our shapes, we just feel better about ourselves. Yeah. And so that's how Esteem really started. Okay. But it flourished into to everything else that God is doing with it. I mean, I'm an open book right now. Okay. He can do with the Esteem whatever he wants to do. But listening to you talk about fashion and how it's something about caring for people through fashion, I totally get that. because if they feel good about themselves on the outside, it's just something they walk, they're able to walk with their head a little higher at the end of the day,
Because the thing of walking with God is you're working on your inner identity.
Right.
And so as that develops, now you are picking and choosing things that brings that forward, because the both of them combined is powerful, right? When you're in sync, it's gonna come out, as you representing you, right? The way you feel it on the inside, and then others will be able to, just see it. So,
that's definitely a gift. Yeah, that's definitely a gift. Everybody doesn't have the eye like that,
right? And the care for it, because it's easy to say, okay, let me do the trends and let me do this and let me do that, but really dissecting it and saying, okay, those are the trends, and maybe I can incorporate some of those into what I'm doing, but at the same time really finding your personal style. And, if you feel like wearing a certain color, because I remember I used to go on just different conferences, and I started wearing this one particular color. And then I look back and I was like, oh wow, I always buy this color every time I'm going on a conference. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, like, what are you trying to tell me? Because it's this one same color, and it's like little variations of it, but it's this one particular it was vintage rose, so it was, and I had it at my wedding, so that was a color. So some people call it blush, but
got it.
It's a cute color.
It's a cute color, but just seeing those things kind of progress and looking back, and then the management. So business wise, it does, in answer to your question, also it does relate into other industries. Because one thing that I'm doing now, although I am a fashionpreneur, and that is developing, and it has been for quite some time. I do marketing, and marketing
you do
is putting that creativity and using just all kinds of not just selling something, but really understanding and getting into the mind of the brand.
What I love about what you're saying, and not to cut you off, but I don't want to lose my thought, because you see how all of those are interconnected. You've got different, and you're not necessarily in a box. You've got all of these talents and things that are natural abilities, and they're all interconnected. Only God can really do that, can show you how to work those things in a way that they will help you to fulfill purpose, help you to be fulfilled yourself, help you to minister to somebody, and so I just love that. I love that, how you're able to work all of your gifts at the same time, right? So I think that's awesome. I've worked with you, and I've seen you teach kids. You can even teach kids about fashion. We have to come back and do a fashion
I'm down.
set. You're down? Okay. We'll have to come back and do that.
Awesome.
But I've even seen you teach children in a way that they were able to understand it easily. And so, and they walked away inspired. So that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So let's just kind of get down into the nitty gritty. So we know that we've talked about some things that we discovered as kids. I'm sure, we're not done discovering. There's still some more things on the inside of us that God has to unlock. And usually that happens by way of life. Like, I like to say it like Bishop Jakes, the vicissitudes of life usually will bring those things out, and kind of lead you to your hidden potential. It's hidden because it's in there and you didn't know it was there. But God is like, if you trust me and you follow the path I'm taking you down, I'll begin to show you who you are, everything that I've put on the inside, who I created you to be, and all of that. And so, I don't know, that I have chills. That just excites me. Because although life is a journey, I like to say it like this: it's a gift waiting to be unraveled. So if you stop at a certain point, you'll never get to the rest of the journey. You'll never be able to see the potential that's hidden on the inside, locked up on the inside.
Agreed.
So, all right, ladies. I want to ask you this. You may have already answered this, but so we know what we the gifts and talents we had growing up as little girls or whatever. Have you discovered anything new recently or within the last maybe 5 years or so? Or maybe post-pandemic? Has the pandemic brought anything new out of you that you didn't know you had before the pandemic? That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm still thinking.
You have something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
Okay, so before the pandemic, I was during the pandemic I was maybe 19, 20.
Okay.
Just to age myself, yes.
Oh.
So before then, I actually was not very socially adept.
Okay.
In the sense that I couldn't speak with others in an effective way, or really, what's it called? Persuade others.
Okay.
So not only could I not communicate my own ideas, I couldn't persuade other people to my own ideas.
Okay.
Post-pandemic, I got a sales job, and I didn't really think I could do it. I really just did it because it was the first thing, nobody was hiring then. So I was like, I kind of want a job. And, they took a chance on me, and now I'm like, every time somebody talks to me, and I don't do it intentionally, they're like, you sound like a salesperson. I'm like, I'm really not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just like, it's a good idea, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, thanks.
What is exciting about what you're saying? Because you just told us your age, right? You're in your 20s.
Yes.
We are double that.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But you are still discovering, and we all are. But I love that, because today, you didn't know you were going to be on camera today, right?
Yeah.
You're used to being behind the camera.
Yes,
well, it seems like God's pulling you out of your comfort zone. And you're not a box person. You say you're open and you're flexible or whatever. But it seems like in this season, for whatever, He says, I don't want you in the background. I want you in the front because you have something to say.
We just had this conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just confirming. I'm just confirming what he already said.
You truly are. And it's so funny how things happen. It's, things change. And kind of like what you said, it's, it's very funny that you use that specific analogy because, I'm the type of person that always feels like I have something to say, which is like ironic that I discovered that ability when I was post-20. It led to me having many breakthroughs in my relationships.
Oh, awesome.
Because I was just such a closed off person.
Yeah.
Like communication was just like, what? But during that time, I'm really going through a season right now where it's like, I'm really just trying to put God first because I know that it's very easy to do things, especially when you know that you can do something.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do things with your own glory and with your own ego.
Yes.
That you lose sight of why you were doing something in the first place.
Right.
Or you lose sight of what that thing is. And so even though I know that I have many things that I could do, like, the reason why I'm behind the camera all the time is I work with the media department at my church.
Wow.
Right. And it's funny because I had once tried out to be part of the choir and I was like, it just didn't work out. There was too much friction. And I think at that time, God was like, you're not in the mindset to be in front or to be like leading other people into that in ministry in that way. And we're speaking and, she's telling me about ministry and the different ways that you can usher in and the different ways that God can use you. And funny today, I know it's Sunday, so it's crazy how things just come full circle.
It is.
But, today's ministry in my church was actually about how there's the uniqueness that you have is very important because that's how you edify each other. If everybody was the same, like we wouldn't really be able to go anywhere.
Right.
And it's that different ministry is just being able to help somebody else. It's not picking up the microphone. It's not being in front of the camera. It's
serving.
Right. And it's not even serving like a specific people. It's serving your neighbor. And so what can you do for the person that's right next to you? And I think that's kind of where you know, like the reason it's just come full circle for me that with your comment where you're saying that God's pulling me because I've served for a long enough time that it's humbled me, you know, as much as you know, as much as there is a lot of friction, I've been able to really, because media was not something that I had a passion or even a talent for before, but now that it's come full circle, it's wow.
Girl, you have plenty to say. don't ever question or wonder again.
Yes.
So really quickly, because we're getting ready to wrap up, what would you say to the person who is just in the place and they're still trying to discover who they are, what their gifts and talents are? What would be your advice to them?
I think my advice would be just to be still for a moment and really just assess. Look at everything that you have on your plate, and then also look at everything that you have that you know that are the desires of your heart, that are the good things for your future. And then as you navigate through that, just keep open communication with God, because I go shopping with God. I, you know, like it's one for another day, but you know, it's just one of those things that if you include him in every aspect, big or small, it doesn't matter. He will show up and show out for you consistently, and he'll surprise you. And you'll just be like, I didn't even pray that, or I kind of just thought it, and you made it happen, because you're aligned with him.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And Tochi, what would you say?
I think I would just say that, you know, there's a lot of things that you have the potential to do, and everything that you have is for the season that you're in. There are some things that you'll be able to do that are just for the moment or just for the person that you're meant to speak to. And there's some things that will stick with you. And it's just, you know, having that gift of discernment and not holding on to everything and letting everything be its season and running its course.
Oh, that's beautiful. Girl, you have a lot of wisdom. I'm telling you.
Only by God's grace. I will not lie.
Well, that wraps up today's show, ladies. Thank you so much for your time and your presence and everything that you shared with us today. Listen, I'm excited that you spent a little time with me today on Esteem TV. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune into my website at www.mynewesteem.com for more updates and to see what's going on with the Esteem Women's Organization. Also, you can click the donation page if you want to donate to Esteem. Thank you so much. Until next time, God bless.